This is the story of a young girl's climb to the top of a mountain, a tale of determination, resilience, and the power of believing in oneself. Emma was a young girl who lived in a quiet town at the foot of a tall, mysterious mountain called Silver Peak. For years, people spoke about the mountain's hidden dangers, thick fog, and steep rocks. Many had tried to climb it, but turned back halfway. Some even got hurt, and others simply lost hope. But Emma dreamed of reaching the top, no matter how hard it seemed. She wanted to show everyone that even the impossible could be done. Emma's friends often said, "It's too hard. No one has made it to the top, so why try?" Even her parents were worried. "The mountain is dangerous," they said. But Emma's mind was made up. She felt deep inside that she had to try, even if it seemed impossible. Emma knew she couldn't just start climbing without preparation. She spent days studying the mountain, watching how the sun moved over its rocky sides and how birds flew in and out of the cliffs. She also talked to older people in the town who had tried to climb Silver Peak. Emma practiced by hiking smaller hills and building her strength. When she felt ready, Emma packed her bag. She included water, food, a small first aid kit, and a rope. Before she left, her father gave her a warm jacket and said, "Stay safe, Emma. This will keep you warm when it gets cold." His eyes were full of worry, but also a small hint of pride. On a bright morning, Emma stood at the base of the mountain. People from the town gathered, curious to see her try. Some whispered doubts, while others watched with hope. Emma waved to her parents and began her climb. At first, the path was simple, with flat rocks and gentle slopes. Emma felt good and strong. The air was fresh, and she could hear birds singing. But soon, the rocks became sharp, and the path grew narrow. The wind picked up, howling around her, and making her grip the rocks tighter. The higher Emma climbed, the harder it became. The fog thickened, making it hard to see. She had to use all her strength to pull herself up steep ledges. Her hands were sore, and her legs ached. At one point, she slipped and scraped her knee on a sharp rock. The pain made her sit down, and for a moment, she thought about going back. "Maybe they were right," she whispered. "Maybe this is too much for me." But then she felt the warm jacket her father had given her. It reminded her of why she was doing this. She wasn't just climbing for herself, she was climbing to prove that she could. Emma stood up, took a deep breath, and pushed on. "One step at a time," she told herself. As Emma climbed higher, she heard a rustling noise. She turned and saw a small mountain goat watching her. It had bright eyes and moved easily over the rocks. Emma couldn't help but smile. "If a little goat can do it, so can I," she said. The goat seemed to understand and stayed with her for a while, hopping ahead and showing her easier paths. Emma found little surprises along the way, like a patch of blue flowers growing between the rocks. They seemed out of place, but were beautiful. It reminded her that even in tough places, life could find a way to shine. Soon, night began to fall. Emma found a small ledge where she could rest. She wrapped herself in her father's jacket to stay warm. The mountain was quiet except for the sound of the wind. Emma felt tired, and doubts crept in. "What if I don't make it?" she wondered. But then she looked up and saw stars through the thinning fog. They sparkled like tiny lights in the dark, as if cheering her on. Emma smiled and said softly, "I'm not alone. I can do this." The next morning, Emma woke up feeling hopeful. The sun rose, casting a golden light over the mountain and making the fog clear a bit. She could see the peak, still far, but within reach. Emma felt a burst of energy and climbed faster. The rocks were still tough and her body was tired, but she pushed on, remembering why she started. With each step, she told herself, "Almost there." Her heart pounded as she reached for the last rock and pulled herself up. She stood at the top, feeling the wind rush around her. Below her, the world looked small, and the sky seemed endless. Emma took a deep breath and looked around. The view was more beautiful than she had imagined. She could see hills, rivers, and the sun painting the clouds with colors. Tears filled her eyes, but not from pain. These were tears of joy. She had done it. Emma turned and saw the little goat had followed her to the top. She laughed and patted its head. "We made it," she whispered. Emma's climb down was easier, filled with the joy of knowing she had reached her goal. When she reached the base, the town was waiting. They saw her scratched hands and tired eyes, but also her wide smile. Her parents ran to her and hugged her tightly, their eyes full of pride. Emma's story spread through the town. She became known as the girl who reached the top of Silver Peak, the one who showed that with courage and heart, anything is possible. Emma's climb taught everyone an important lesson. Even when things are hard and people doubt you, believing in yourself can make all the difference. She proved that even the highest mountains can be climbed, one step at a time.